Coach Cez Acuna. Join me in Speak with Success every Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Together, let us conquer the fear. Hello and welcome to another episode of Speak with Success. Tonight, we will be talking about speaking in the digital world. We were all used to speaking in a traditional way, speaking in an event, in a large venue, with a large audience. At work, we usually do this face to face, but because of the pandemic, we were forced to adapt to the digital way of doing things. Technological advancements were made to keep people safe, though it also made things simpler. It opened up a lot of new things and new opportunities for us. Almost everything now is done virtually. Remote working, online selling, schooling, and public speaking events. Before, if you will be hosting an event, there should be advanced planning as to the venue, the equipments, the audience accommodation, the security, and a lot more. It will also be requiring a large team of experts to be able to pull off a successful event. But today, since everything is done virtually, you can have a one-man team to organize an event or a learning webinar. I have been doing this since last year. I plan, I organize, I implement, and I host. It only required me a few learning tutorials on setting up my equipment, my laptop, a strong internet connection, the lighting, and my room setup for the venue. And because I am also the speaker, I also do the research on the topics I will be needing to discuss. It is much cost effective and easier to organize, just requiring a pre-registration form for attendance and you're good to go. But above all these things, there were things that were sacrificed as well. Since most of the time we do not see our audience online, there are no more eye contact with them. So how can we connect with our audience? Since in a physical event, this is what we do. We connect with them by looking them in their eyes. We cannot see and feel reactions from them. What that is why we cannot adopt our delivery to it and maintain engagement. And there's no more stage to walk around, no more face-to-face interactions. I know most of us are already adapting to this new norm, but I know that there are still some left still wondering how to start this transition. Unlike an audience, we will just need their smartphones to participate in a webinar or online talk as hosts. All the efforts will come from us and from the team of organizers. If you are a one-man team, just like me, who organizes and hosts webinars on my own, let me give you a brief walkthrough on what to do. So the very first thing is to make sure you have the right equipment. It does not need to be expensive as what other professional public speakers are using. As long as it gives you the results that you require, you can start off with cheaper equipment. The first investment that you should make is in acquiring your laptop or desktop. But if you have an existing, it will do. Some may just require an upgrade, as upgrading might be cheaper than buying a new one. For your video, a built-in webcam will do, or you can invest in an affordable, good quality video camera. For now, what I use is the built-in webcam in my laptop since it gives me the output that I want. Why would I bother myself to invest in a new one? Then you will need a microphone. Laptops nowadays have their built-in microphones that records clear audio. Some has even noise canceling features. Sometimes when I do recording, the audio is low, but I can always edit it so I have no issues with my laptop microphone. Then you will also need proper lighting. This is important as your video quality output will also depend on your lighting. You can start off with a ring light. 2 or 3 ring lights will do. Just make sure to buy the larger diameter ring light for a brighter and better light distribution. So now we are done with the external equipment. Let us now go to the applications you will need to set up your first webinar. For a live webinar, we have free and paid versions of application that has the capacity to broadcast you to your audience. The most used app is Zoom Cloud Meetings. I know most of you are familiar with this, since this is also what I use. Some uses Google Meet, AirMeet, and a lot more. There are a lot of free applications that you can use, but for hosting a webinar and to be able to use all the features an application can provide, it has to be paid version, like the number of audience it can accommodate, if you will be able and if you will be allowed to record the whole event, and a lot more. It is also important to identify what you need so you will be able to look for an application that can deliver your requirements. The next is a video editing app. This is important for editing your video recording before broadcasting it or posting it in your YouTube channel. The applications will always depend on the kind of output that you require. So make sure to identify all that you need so you can have the right application for it. So let me give you some tips in doing virtual presentation. So the first is, like in a physical setup, you have to make sure that you look good, because this is how you represent yourself. This is how you will capture your audience. So if you don't present yourself well, how will they believe you? So you have to dress well. The second is you have to do a dry run or a test run to make sure everything is in place. You know what happened to me in my very first webinar was a malfunction of the video presentation needed for the introduction. Since I failed to do a test run, the video played without an audio. Yes, we cannot avoid technical problems and malfunctions, but we have to make sure that everything works to make sure to give the best experience to our audience. The third is you have to make sure your video is on when you speak, because this gives your audience a chance not only to feel your emotions, but to see your emotions when you speak. But by any chance, due to poor connectivity, you cannot share your video, you just have to make sure to ask permission from your audience and explain why. So the fourth is your content and delivery should match the medium you will use, which in this case is presenting online. You cannot expect a 100% feedback from the audience on a joke that you will include in your script, since most of the times audience are muted in a webinar. So how can you ask questions that needs an answer from them? So make sure you have the right kind of application that will allow your audience to give feedback if it is needed, or you can pattern your script to lessen the need for it. So the fifth is you have to focus on your camera when you speak. This is your way of maintaining eye contact to your audience. This imitates the feeling that you're directly looking in their eyes, therefore giving them the assurance that you're interested in speaking with them. So the sixth is you have to make sure your audio and video are off before doing unnecessary things, because your audience can see and hear you. So assume that your audio and video is always on, since there are incidents where we see and hear things that shouldn't be seen and heard. There were even instances where we see naked people walking around the background, so be very careful. So the seventh is be on point. Your audience should be able to follow the thought and the message of your talk. Be clear and be precise. Do not bore them, as they can leave anytime in an online setting. So for a one-man team, assign someone from your audience that you can send a message to inform everyone in case you get disconnected due to power and internet connection outage. But if you work with a team, this will not be a problem. Always acknowledge delays and inform your audience about it, like delays in setting up your screen, sharing, and others. So speaking in the digital world may be the new norm now, but it shouldn't be a barrier for us to continue what we are doing. We should learn to adapt to new things, because we will never get back to the previous normal that we have even after the pandemic is over. We should be thankful that despite the setbacks, we have this technology that we can adapt to that could help us in different aspects of our lives. So this is all for now. I hope I have given you value tonight in exchange of the time you invested to watch and learn this in this video. Hope to see you again next week, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. for another learning episode of Speak with Success. Before we end, I hope you can like and follow my FB pages, Success Project, Coach Says, and Film Life Legazpi City. Feel free to message or comment if you need assistance on financial planning, life coaching, and wealth and financial coaching. Please also subscribe and don't forget to press the notification bell. Like, share, and comment to Coaches of Success Project YouTube channel. So thank you and good night.